So maybe now this is it. Maybe we figured out the issue. 28 minutes late. Chat, give me a shout if you can hear me. It's JWG. Meant to start this at 10:30 Eastern time. It's 10:58 as I look at my computer monitor. Are you with me? All right. Hey. All right, it worked. Amazing. How about that? All right. Thank you for your patience. That was ridiculous. Apparently, YouTube doesn't like VPN. They won't let you go live if you've got VPN. I'll do my best to speak up. Thank you for being here, and let's get into it. You've been waiting long enough. We've got some 89 Fleer stuff here. There aren't packs. I just wanted to highlight, like, if you are looking for that Billy Ripken error card, you can't look at the pack, like the wax paper itself, nor can you look at there are some numbers here on the side of a box. You can't look at the packs or the box. You need the actual case that the number comes in, and then you'll have the right deal. So just want to start with that. Now we know. All right. While we're on the topic of not opening wax, shout out to viewer Terry from the comments for sending me this awesome Greg Jeffries 1994 Stadium Plug. Greg Jeffries, league leader for batting average. Awesome card with the rainbow foil. I don't have it, and anytime I get Greg Jeffries, I smile. So big thank you to Terry for the Greg Jeffries mail day. I appreciate that. All right, we've got a big variety of packs here on the table, a big mismatch of all different kinds of things. So I'm just going to grab one. We're going to start with 87 Fleer. Hope everybody's doing well tonight, and thank you for being here. Thank you for putting up with the technical difficulty. Now I know. Note to self, no VPN, and that apparently was the issue. It is the channel on YouTube where we open old baseball cards and talk about it. Today's are going to be from 1987 Fleer. I'm told, I have on very good authority, that if you know the first card and the last card, you know everything in between, because these cards were packaged in such a sequence to be very predictable for 1987. We begin with Willie Upshaw. If you know the sequence, play along at home. I don't, so best of luck. Willie Upshaw, Franklin Stubbs, National League best righties, Mike Scott and Mike Krukow. A question from viewers, or from a viewer: are the bubblegum cards made out of bubblegum? You know what? I don't know that I have a pack handy that says that. Here we go. Yeah, 89 Topps alternate wrap. They say bubblegum cards. The cards themselves are not made of bubblegum. They're printed on cardstock. The bubblegum, the stick, is the only part that you're supposed to chew. Do not try to chew the cards. Some of you are first-time viewers, maybe, and I feel like I have to say that every time. Thank you for the prompt. Luis Rivera, Mark Portugal, the man, Tom Candiotti and his mustache. That's nice. Jeff Reardon and his beard, more like Jeff Bearden. Big bats at the first sack. First sack. Glenn Davis and Eddie Murray. First sack. Rich Bordy, Tim Stoddard, looking like he got interrupted doing something else to get his picture done. Charlie Liebrandt, Ray Knight, a checklist. Going to put that aside. Rick Cerrone and his mustache. Dwayne Murphy, again, mustache. Lou Whitaker, he should be in the Hall of Fame. Our stickers, we got the Astros and the A's. And then the Rangers globe sticker, that's cool. Randy Neiman, Terry Poole, Dick Schofield, Willie McGee, Benito Santiago. That one would have gone right into the binder in 1987. Excellent. Chris Spire, Mario Soto, Steve Jeltz, Paul Assenmacher, Kurt Stillwell, Tom Seaver, fantastic. and Wade Boggs right behind him. I mentioned that that series, the sequencing that everybody knows about 87 Fleer. If I had my little cheat sheet out, I would have known that Seaver and Boggs are usually back to back for whatever reason. They are, what is that? 16 cards apart in the sequence and back to back in the pack. All right. Tim Flannery, Ron Hassey, and Kelly Downs finish out our 87 Fleer cello pack. Lots of 87 Fleer. Let's do 89 score. Thanks, everybody, again, for joining me. I'm trying to keep an eye on chat. If you've got a request, throw it in there. If I've got the pack, I'll open it. That's my vow to you, the viewer, for having put up with the technical difficulty. We're going to go on with 89 score. Not a great checklist, all things considered, but you get the great score design, especially on the backs. Big fan of the full color portrait style photo on the back. Love that they always fit in bio information. That's cool. Even if the fronts are kind of lackluster. Not great. Mitch Webster. I see a call for at least one John Smiley card tonight. I think the odds are in our favor. I think the odds say at least one John Smiley. We've got Mitch Webster laying down a bunt. That's some ancient baseball move. I don't know why anybody would have done it. The reasons why are lost to time, unfortunately, forever. Steve Sachs, Alvin Davis, Kevin Elster, Ray Knight with the Tigers, Lee Smith, nice. A year to remember, if they say so, 1942. You must have had to have been there to remember it. Not even my dad was there. Okay. Ted Williams wins the Triple Crown. All right, we can remember that. Dave Righetti, Bruce Ruffin, Dave Magadan, Neil Allen, Frank White, Bob Brenly, Brian Holton, Cousin Dave Stapleton, Odell Jones, and Don Slott. Big thank you to Score for using action photos on the fronts of the cards and saving the headshots for the back. Something that really, in my opinion, sets Score apart, especially in the early years, from the other junk wax. It's no 91 Fleer. No, it's not. But this is 91 Fleer. Do not adjust your sets. Do not adjust your phones or your cameras or whatever you're watching on. The cards are actually this yellow, believe it or not. We've got 14 cards, one sticker. Maybe one of them, at first glance, will be clearly a black border. It's not. So no provision in this pack. We've got our Pirates, Cardinals, Rangers, and Blue Jays are our stickers. And our players. Roger Clemens, I've heard of him. The worst looking cards of all time, I don't know. My vote is, and I know I've got a pack of them here. So yeah, 91 Donruss. 91 Donruss can go right to hell, but it's here, so we got to open it. Paul Ossenmacher, Chris Carpenter, Jose Lind. I mean, this almost looks like a color match. That's cool. Denny Walling, Derek Bell, Dave Hansen and a yawning cameraman, Fred Lynn, Dave Magadan. He's going through the full swing. There's the baseball. He either hit it like right into the ground or he missed by 2 feet. Terrible baseball card for Dave Magadan. Sorry, Dave. There's Pete O'Brien, Ryan Sandberg, nice. Robbie Thompson, Tim Leana, and Don Carmen. The best thing about these cards is the back. The yellow notwithstanding, you get the giant full color photo on the back. That was pretty cool for the day. And then the way that Fleer. All right, maybe we're back. I reset some things. Maybe we're back live. Let me know if you can see Eddie Murray and Larry Walker in the center of your screen. Little Greg Jeffries from 1990 Leaf. Greg Jeffries from 1993 Upper Deck. Do we've got our Greg Jeffries representing? Trying again. Okay, I see some positive feedback. Things are working. All right. That's progress. It's little bits of progress. What you missed while we were away, I opened a pack of 1990 Leaf. I got my PC guy, Will Clark, one of my PC guys, but the only one pictured in 1990 Leaf. A gorgeous example of the card, by the way. Also, George Brett, Ozzie Smith, Ricky Henderson, and Tony Gwynn, and Greg Jeffries out of one pack. Insane, absolutely insane. One pack of 1990 Leaf yielded all of these Hall of Famers plus 1989 era superstars, Will Clark and Greg Jeffries. No hotter player than Will, no hotter rookie prospect than Greg. That's what Junkwax Baseball is all about, friends. All right, you also missed in 92 Fleer, Larry Walker, and Eddie Murray. Not as impressive as the other thing, but we do what we do. I like these cards though. The metallic ink, the way that the teal kind of flips from a dark to a light. That's cool. Big fan. Full color photo on the back, again with the Fleer stats. These are good cards. All right. Yeah, thanks for sticking with me. Let's do 90 Donruss. This is the Wind Instantly. So this is the production part where you're more likely to have the errors. So if we get an all-star card, guaranteed this is going to say Major League Performance on the back and not All-Star Game Performance. We might find the Tom Glavine instead of John Smoltz error. We might find the Brian Downing reverse negative, the Juan Gonzalez. Lots of errors we can find here. In 1990 Donruss. Thank you for sticking with me through that technical difficulty between the delayed start and the frozen screen. I got to troubleshoot these things before I do another one. Puzzle pieces, 16, 17, and 18, again, interchangeable from year to year. Practice our cursive reading with Paul Kilgus. Greg Jeffries, fantastic. Chip Hale, Mariano Duncan, Goose Gossage, Calvin Schiraldi, Ricky Horton, Harold Baines. So like a double error. We've got the strike through on the star here. So more of a production error than a mistake. But guarantee you, when I flip this over, instead of saying recent All-Star Game performance, it will say recent Major League performance. And look at that, Howard Johnson, another All-Star right behind him. So you can see the difference there between the line over the star and not. Recent Major League performance. Same for you, Hojo. Instead of recent All-Star Game performance, it's going to say recent Major League performance. And it does. I knew it. Brian Meyer. Sure. Mike Schmidt. All-time great, if he says so himself. Michael Jack Schmidt, the pride of Dayton, Ohio. We'll take that. Hall of Famer Jack Morris, all right. Kurt Ford, Bernie Williams, Kirby Puckett, All-Star. All-Star hot pack here. You know what we're going to see on the back. It's not going to say All-Star Game performance. Denny Walling and John Wetland with the Dodgers. How about that? John Wetland rookie card playing for the Dodgers. I forgot that even happened. I remember he was a Ranger and maybe an Expo. That's how I remember him. Anyway, yeah, I wouldn't be a 90 Donruss fan unless I knew that you could buy specific packs that were likely to have those weird production mistakes. You know, I don't care for the design necessarily, but I do like that you can get in one pack 3 different All-Star cards that have recent Major League performance, and that 2 of the 3 would have the correct star. I like it. What can you say? That's what makes 90 Donruss fun for me. So, in my humble but accurate opinion, that's what they were going for. Yeah, Greg Jeffrey's hot night. So far, John Smiley, the over/under on John Smiley is we've hit 0, but we've had 3, count them, 3 different Greg Jeffreys so far. That's a good night for me. Let's see. I'm going to clean up my tabletop a little bit. We'll get the Fleer Ultra off to the side. Let's do 90 score. 90 score, the one with the Bo Jackson shoulder pads card, or it just says Bo on the back. Same game, John Smiley parlay. Yeah, hit those parlays. See what you can do. It's not too late. Not too late. All right, we've got our white border card. I'm not going to reveal it just yet. But here we see packed fresh does not mean mint condition. Fernando Valenzuela, a notch there out of the top of his card. Fernando. Sorry, buddy. There's Dale Murphy again with the Braves this time. That makes a lot more sense to me. BJ Surhoff, Randy Milligan, Norm Charlton, part of that Nasty Boys bullpen for the Reds. Mike Devereaux. Oh, the Bo Jackson is not our white bordered card. You get one of those per pack. And in this pack, it is not Bo Jackson. There's Mike Devereaux. The MVPs in 1980. In the chat, tell me who the American League MVP is from 1980. And we'll give you a little thumbs up there. I had to look myself. I didn't know offhand. Greg Gore is our white bordered card, not the Bo Jackson that everybody would be looking for. Kurt Young, Donnell Nixon, Joe Girardi, Gary Pettis. There's Howard Johnson, not holding a child this time. Mike LaValliere, Mark Langston, wearing those Expos Road Blues, beautiful. Lonnie Smith and Kent Herbeck. Yeah, the Alhambra. I agree with the statement that if the cards are not made of bubblegum, they're also not going to be made of mint. So for these cards to be mint, we're talking condition, not flavor. Okay? Okay? Hello, Pops Springs. Nice to see you in the chat. Glad you were able to join us. Thank you for being here tonight. Let's do 87 Donruss. 40 cents says the price tag. I don't think I was able to pay 40 cents for this particular pack. Pretty sure I paid more than that, but it is junk wax. So let's see what we get. We could get Will Clark. We could get Barry Bonds. We could get Mark McGwire. Others. Let's see. I hope you're as excited as I am. Puzzle pieces 4, 5, and 6 of our Roberto Clemente. Cool. And in the set, very difficult to get perfect condition because of these black borders. The centering, these little baseball icons, helps a lot with centering left to right, but the black borders makes it tough. R.J. Reynolds, Randy Kutcher, the ageless Ted Simmons. He had played 2,300 games at this point and had almost 8,400 at-bats. He had played a long time. There's Corey Snyder, Terry Mulholland, Jay Howell, Alan Anderson, Ricky Horton, Randy Myers, Larry Parrish, Ron Karkovice, I know it's Karkovice. I just like to say Ron Karkovice. This is 87 Donruss, by the way. He was born in 1963. The man in this photograph is 24 years old. Carl Best. Tony Gwynn. Oh, that's a gorgeous card. Alex Trevino and Ted Power. Ted Power! Tony Gwynn, though. That looks good. Wow. Nice card for Tony Gwynn. Love that. Comment. You should graft all of the puzzle pieces together and make a Frankenstein puzzle. I do have a video where I Franken-puzzle together several different Donruss puzzle sets. I'm going to do another one where I get even more granular. And instead of doing it like 3 at a time, I'm going to do it 1 at a time. So stay tuned. That's coming soon. We'll show you the proof that pieces 4, 5, and 6 through the years are interchangeable, etc. And we will Franken-puzzle together a complete train wreck of Donruss puzzles. All right. Let's do, oh, this is cool. MISL, Major Indoor Soccer League. I was a big fan growing up of the Cleveland Force. John Smiley fans sobbing. Yeah, still no John Smiley as your host pauses for a drink. Still no John Smiley hit. The Chicago Sting. Oh, yeah. The Baltimore Blast, the Pittsburgh Spirit. All rivals. Nobody I can support there. It's got to be the Cleveland Force. Let's do a pack of these Pacific baseball cards, or Pacific indoor soccer cards, more accurately. Jim Schwab, Ken Fogarty, Mark Simonton, Tim Schultz, Gino DeFlorio. There's our Force guy. I went to many a summer soccer camp with Gino DeFlorio as my coach. Gino DeFlorio, number 11 in your scorebooks, number 1 in our hearts. Marcio Liete for the Wichita Wings, though pictured in a Dallas Sidekicks uniform. Tattoo. If you were not a fan of major indoor soccer league games, when Tattoo, the Argentinian forward, would score, he would jump up on the dasher boards and literally take off his jersey and throw it into the crowd. And he scored a lot of goals. 51 games, 73 goals. Tattoo loved to hop up. Did I say Brazilian? Did I mention he was from Brazil? Did I mention that he was only 5'6"? Anyway, this dude would score a goal in indoor soccer, jump up on the boards, and throw his jersey into the crowd. Tattoo. The Aaron Judge of his day. George Katakalidis. Oh, behind him, Hector Marinero. Ooh, a legend. Not necessarily with the Minnesota Strikers, but when the Cleveland Crunch became a team, the tandem of Hector Marinero and Zoran Karic went on to set records. Just absolutely blistered the indoor soccer world. Hector Marinero, fantastic. Mike Fox, Greg Blassingame, Bruce Savage, he plays for Baltimore, who cares, and Alan Willie, players I love to hate. Anyway, that's my experience with indoor soccer from the late 80s in the MISL. Let's do a pack of 92 Score for no other reason than that's what my hand fell on when I grabbed it. No John Smileys in the Major Indoor Soccer League pack. Lo siento, I'm sorry. In the Score pack, though, Rex Hudler, Bill Landrum, Dwayne Henry, Senior Smoke, Juan Berenguer, Alonzo Powell. There are 4 players pictured on this card, and not one of them, not one, is John Smiley. Cal Ripken Jr., all-star card, big head, nice. Tom Lampkin, that is action for a catcher if I've ever seen it. Terry Leach, Scott Bradley, Dante Bichette, Roberto Kelly, Ron Gant. Pretty good season for Ron, coming off a 30-30, consecutive 30-30 years. That's fabulous. Ron Gant. Felix Jose, George, don't call me Jorge Bell, and the Blackout, Scott Erickson. If there was a more badass dude than Scott Erickson in 1991, I would like to meet him. Let's try again. We're live. The video says that we're back. I don't know if the audio is back. Chat, please let me know if you can hear me. There we go. There is audio. Okay. That's awesome. Fantastic. You missed the hilarious and fully entertaining content that I did over the last like 4 or 5 minutes. I'm sorry that you missed it. Impossible to recreate, I'm afraid. But Billy Swift, Billy Hatcher, Alan Anderson, I don't know what else to tell you. We've got Chris Sabo as we continue on our 1992 score. We've got a White Sox hologram card, Heroes of Baseball, Comiskey Park. Sure, if you want to. There I am. Hi. Indians checklist. Of all the guys, I don't know why they picked Greg Swindell, but they did. That Chief Wahoo statue used to be on the outside of Cleveland Municipal Stadium before they built Jacobs Field. There's the Bloodlines card, Roberto and Sandy Alomar. Kind of cool. Eventually teammates with the Indians in Cleveland. Lloyd Mosby, Kevin Mitchell. There's Greg Briley again. We've seen him before. We've seen him now. Tom Pagnozzi. Hey, Tom Pagnozzi. And John Candelaria. So a couple of these we've seen before. We see him again. All right. We get what we get and we don't get upset. That's just the way these things are sequenced. Can't help it. Sorry. We'll get our 87 Donruss out of the way. And let's do 91 Stadium Club Series 2. One of my all-time favorite, most beautiful baseball cards. The 91 Stadium Club. Second series, though, a little less, I don't know, special than the Premier Edition. Let's see what we've got. You still have the feature of Topps rookie cards on the back. Here we see Turner Ward's rookie card, 1990 Topps debut, which looks an awful lot like 1991 Topps. Just saying. All right. There's our Stadium Club literature. And in the pack, John Orton. I mean, even John Orton's baseball card is gorgeous. That's beautiful. I don't know the first thing about John Orton, other than he's a catcher. His debut card was 91 or 89 Topps debut. Again, looks a lot like 1990 Topps. But that card, that's beautiful. Look at that. The shadow, the focus, the gold foil. That's awesome. And it smells good, too. It still smells good. Sean Bosky. Rafael Palmeiro. Oh, Tom Glavine. That's cool. Kind of a plain photo for Tom. Nice card, though, nonetheless. There's the kid, Gary Carter. Looking good. Hall of Fame parade, Randy Johnson. How about that? Do I have any tips for de-bricking Stadium Club without crazy paper loss? No. I have tried freezing. I have tried heating. Neither hot nor cold seem to work. I do not have a tip. I wish I did. Anyway, Randy Johnson. This pack is not bricked. Randy Johnson. Awesome. Milt Kyler. Charles Chili Davis. Jaime Navarro. Oh, longtime viewers, get ready. Steve Farr. Steve Neer. Steve Farr. Steve Neer. Hilarious joke. Mark Portugal, the man. And our last card out of 1991 Stadium Club Series 2 is Turner Ward. Indians legend Turner Ward. Let's take a quick look at the backs of these cards to see if we've got cardception for what we've got left. I know we don't have it for Randy Johnson, Gary Carter, or Tom Glavine. Those are some pretty well-known rookie cards, but let's see what we've got. Rafael Palmeiro, obviously, future star, 87 tops. Yeah, I have a feeling, like a personal opinion, that when they give the Topps debut the rookie card, I think that's a cop-out. If you can't get it in a pack, that's a cop-out. Sorry, no offense, Turner Ward. But Randy Johnson, Gary Carter, Tom Glavine, you all go into the stack. The rest of you, off with the comments. No offense. Yeah, these hologram cards are sweet. This Heroes of Baseball, Comiskey Park. Big fan of these holograms, especially the giant stickers. Those are cool. There's John Orton again. By the way, just awesome card. That is gorgeous. Beautiful photo. It's not like in-game action necessarily, but big fan. Love that. All right, let's do, we've got 92 Stadium Club. We'll save that. We just did some Stadium Club. Let's get back to 91 Fleer. Again, do not adjust your sets. It is that yellow. Let's see what we've got. No black border cards, therefore no provision. Our team logo sticker, the Rangers. That's cool. And for our cards, we have Willie Wilson, Lou Whitaker. Love that. Nice to see Lou. Eric King, Luis Polonia, Lance Blankenship, Tommy Gregg, Chuck Carr. Could that look any more spring training than it does? He's wearing his glove on the top hand. Wear your glove on the bottom hand, friend. Save yourself. Here's Dewey, Dwight Evans. That's cool. Jeff Ballard, a checklist. That's going in the stack. Mike Harkey, Darnell Coles at Fenway Park when it was barely decorated. Can you remember when there was no advertising on the wall at Fenway? It seems like a different, like you might as well be looking at Ty Cobb's baseball card. Jim Acker and Pete Harnisch. A little bit of white along the top there for Pete Harnisch, kind of miscut, I'm going to guess. All right, so not what we had ideally in mind, but we still got a checklist. And we've got Lou Whitaker. Cool. All right, we'll read checklists later. Stay tuned. And if you don't want to, you don't have to. We're still going strong. We've got a couple Stadium Clubs. Let's do 94 Fleer Ultra, Series 2. 14 cards in the package. And they're beautiful. Lovely restrained use of gold foil here. My only issue is you've got this landscape photo, landscape rookie and Fleer Ultra branding, but the player name and team are still vertical along the short side of the card. Max Suzuki. Like, let's compare this to, there you go, Eddie Zambrano. Same rookie type setup. Why couldn't they have oriented the name and the team along the bottom of the card, no matter if it was horizontal or vertical? My question for you, Anyway, Max Suzuki, Eddie Zambrano, Eric Anthony. Look at that glare. Look at the glare of our studio lights. That's awesome. Eric Anthony, Anthony Young, James Mouton. Where are you from, James? Are you from the Bayou? Denver, Colorado. Never mind, James Mouton. I was going to give him the Bayou pronunciation. Ozzie Guillen, Dave Valley. Nice shot there for the catcher. That's cool. Darren Holmes, again, with the landscape layout. That's awesome. Love that they turned the logo 90 degrees. Why did they leave the name and the team the same? I don't know. That's Steve Traxel, rookie card. Nice. Robbie Thompson. That's a beautiful card. Love that. Kurt Schilling. I've heard of him. Kurt Schilling. Jim Abbott with the Yankees. That's the coolest one in this pack. That's awesome. Jim Abbott. Every day, all day. I'll take it. There's Kevin Seitzer. And on the Fleer Ultra All-Rookie team, Ryan Klesko. Gold foil on the back of the card as well. That's when you know it's fancy, when they put the embellishment on the back of the card. Oh, Ryan Klesko with the Tron-looking background. All right. What is the oldest pack I've ever opened? I think the oldest one I ever opened on the channel is from 1981, I want to say. I believe it's 1981. Could be slightly older. But I know for sure I've opened 81 here on the channel, even within the last couple of weeks. Good question. Fleer Ultra, beautiful, beautiful cards. All right, we're down to it. You know what we haven't done? This 89 tops. So same cards. You get 15 cards. You get 15. This says bubblegum cards. Again, let me address this. Bubblegum cards, they're not printed on bubblegum. They're printed on cardstock. The one stick is bubblegum. Do not confuse the one stick of bubblegum with the actual cards. The cards themselves are printed on cardstock. Do not try to chew them. The benefit is it's in the cellophane wrap, so no wax paper damage. And generally, better protection from environmental impacts. So overall, less likely to have any wax damage or gum damage on these cards. Like Dale Murphy here had the gum at his back, but the gum is not stuck to him. So awesome. Cool. 89 tops. Rick Shue. Have I tried to eat the cards? No comment. I'm just going to say that I know that don't put these in your mouth. There's Scott Fletcher, the pride of Wadsworth, Ohio. It doesn't say so, but I know. Dickie Thon, Nelson Liriano, Alan Ashby, Bob Walk, not John Smiley, not the ironically named Pirates pitcher we're looking for. There's Bob Walk. Dale Murphy, John Tudor, Al Nipper, Orestes Destrade. There's a checklist. That's cool. Glenn Hubbard, Mike Campbell, Hall of Famer Dave Winfield. Looks like he knows something we don't. Little inside joke from Dave Winfield. Alejandro Pena, and then Topps Company Store. Zoom. 80 Topps. There you go. The most difficult pack to open. I feel like these like tamper-proof cellophane ones, like your stadium clubs, your 92, 93 Fleers, I think they're the most difficult to open because sometimes they don't have this little flap that you can get your fingertip, your nail under. So they're not hard necessarily, but they're difficult. Ooh, 93 Upper Deck. I've got 91 Upper Deck here. 93 Upper Deck has a little notch where you can kind of pull away at the wrapper, but inevitably that tab only pulls down to about there. And it's a huge pain in the neck. A huge pain in the neck. Let's go ahead and do 91 Upper Deck. This is the Find the Nolan edition. This is also the Find the Michael Jordan edition. So if we're going to find a Jordan, it's going to be in this kind of pack. Let's find out together, shall we? The Alhambra owns his soul to the Topps Company store. I own my soul to Columbia House Records. All right, here's our 91 Upper Deck. We begin with Scott Chiamparino. Ooh, an Eric Karros rookie card. That's cool. Rookie of the Year, Eric Karros. Love that. Mike Lieberthal, top prospect. And then a flipped over Phillies team logo card with the hologram. That's pretty cool. Sean Dunston. Are they sticking? Is that possibly what's happening? No. All right. Luis Polonia. About to lose both hats, his cap and his batting helmet. Bob Guerin. Jimmy Kramers. I don't remember Jimmy Kramers at all. No offense. We've got Kelly Gruber. Scott Aldred. Mike Harkey. Jaime Navarro. Gene Nelson, who I understand was like the ultimate setup man for Dennis Eckersley. Not a lot of wins, not a lot of losses, not a lot of saves, but for 74 innings pitched, pretty sure he was the setup man for the Eck as he was dominating the American League those years. There is Tino Martinez looking very youthful. Very youthful Tino Martinez. Bob Boone. Love the back of the card photo choice there for Upper Deck. That's cool. There is Paul Sorrento in his pinstripe glory and Rick Mailer. Clean shaven as a Cincinnati Red. Mike Wilson in the comments asks, we know you have a favorite card design. Do you have a favorite wrapper design? That's a good question. I think I might have to go with like 94 Stadium Club. I'm a big fan of the distressed look. I like the Dymo label style where they use for the word baseball there. The serif, like typewriter looking Major League there is really cool. To me, this just looks like 1994 in such a pure essence that's, off the top of my head, this is what I'm going to go with. Top wrapper, 94 Upper Deck. That's awesome. Or 94 Stadium Club, I should say. That's cool. Let's go ahead and open this pack, by the way. We've got some Super Team parallels in here, some self-addressed stamp envelope business that you could participate in. Let's just go ahead and do this. We've got Will Clark and Jim Thome in Series 1. There should be a rainbow foil insert in each pack. There's Chili Davis, Charles Chili Davis. in our 94 Stadium Club. Again, huge fan of like typewriter plus Dymo debossed font. It looks like, to me, the way ESPN2 looked in its first year. So I love it. It's so period specific. Also, the way that 91 Donruss is period specific, but 91 Donruss is specific in a uncomfortable kind of way. This is awesome. Chili Davis, Pudge, Ivan Rodriguez, with the Oakleys behind the mask. That's sick. I love that. And yeah, I don't think we've still seen that John Smiley card. We've been through, I don't know how many dozens of packs. Still 0 John Smileys. Daryl Hamilton. Kevin Seitzer. There's Pudge, Michael Lavalier. Shout out Emily. Hard-hitting Mark Whitten. Another guy wearing the Oakley sunglasses. George Brett. Fantastic. That might be George Brett's last baseball card. 94 Stadium Club. I don't think he had a card in 95 series. How about that? George Brett. Tim Pugh, nice landscape layout there. A Tale of Two Players. Zoom. Omar Vizquel, very unique. Like, it's not even the Kurt Manwaring or Jim Abbott or Nolan Ryan where you get like 3 or 4 exposures. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 completely separate photographs. That's a cool baseball card. Omar Vizquel with the Mariners. Love that. Yeah, the Dymo tape, just like the Cowboys helmets, they have that going like vertically down the center stripe there. Just, type out Hernandez and stick that to your lid. Roberto Hernandez, Scott Stahoviak, and Felix Fermin, eventually to be traded for Omar Vizquel, who we saw earlier. And there's Chris Hoyles. So things come first full circle. But Scott Stahoviak is a rainbow foil card where you can see the prismatic effect there, where his last name is. Love those cards. And I like having the benefit of being able to get both Will Clark and Jim Thome with rainbow foil in 1994 Stadium Club. Awesome. Love that every day. Every day. All right, we're winding down on the packs available. We're going to, you know what? I'm going to pull out of this box another 94 Stadium Club. This might be the box where we have 0 rainbow foil inserts. So Scott Stahoviak has this kind of prismatic thing going on with his last name. I've got a box of these. I think it might be this box where the packs don't have that feature. This is supposed to be 1 per pack. This might be the cursed box. Let's find out. If it's not this box, it's the box, one of the boxes directly behind me. So let's see what we've got. We have Brent Gates. Last name is in red, as it's supposed to be. That's the standard design for Stadium Club. 40 home run club members. We've got those. Ooh, you've heard those pulling apart. Matt Williams and Dave Justice. Andy Bennis. Beautiful landscape layout there. Atlanta Braves top 3 trios. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Matias Carrillo. Never heard of him. No offense, Matias. You have more Major League at-bats than I do. No offense. Another home run club card. Barry Bonds this time. Jeff Branson. Jeff Branson's the defender, not the base runner. Mike Piazza, award winner. There you go. Again, though, not the rainbow foil card. And we're down to just a few cards. Which one will be the rainbow foil, if any? Brett Butler, base running, as I love to see him. He's either bunting or base running, in my opinion. Brett Butler. Bill Hasselman. Click, crack, Craig Graybeck. Not Greg Craybeck, but Craig Graybeck. And Bobby Witt Sr. So not only is it Bobby Witt Sr., but last card in the pack. No rainbow foil. It's that cursed box. Not a single rainbow foil per pack. You're supposed to get at least one. Oh, well. All right, we're down to our last three. Thank you for watching. If you've stayed with me this long, I do appreciate it. Through the technical difficulties, through the freezing and all of those things. And we're left with 1994 Score Select, 1993 Donruss Series 1, and 1992 Topps Stadium Club Series 2. Let's go ahead and do Stadium Club Series 2. I talk about this a lot on the channel, but there are 3 series in 1992 Stadium Club. Each of those series has 300 cards. So a huge set, 900 cards altogether. Mike Wilson agreeing with me in the comments that 94 Topps Stadium Club, reminding us all of the debut of ESPN2 when it was Keith Olbermann and Susie Kolber giving us indoor lacrosse highlights. Well, at least one of them wore a leather jacket. Let's go ahead and do Series 2 of our 92 Stadium Club. Couple packs left. Thank you for sticking with me all this time. And in this pack, we've got Mike Stanton, Jeff Bagwell with his flip-up, flip-down sunglasses and the required little extra tape on the nose piece because that nose piece was uncomfortable as all get out. I used to have a pair of these, and I had little eyeglass cushions wrapped with athletic tape around the center of my flip-up, flip-down sunglasses. Wish I still had them. There's Mark Lemke, Eric Pappas, Brian Hunter. There's Glenn Allen Hill. It's one first name, not one first name and middle name. Glenn Allen, one first name, no middle name, last name Hill. Andujar Cedeno, Mitch Webster, Jim Gott, Chuck Finley. We're not going to call him anything Chinley. No Spoonerisms there. Stadium Club was an actual club you could join. Way past due. Josias Manzanillo. Tell me that's, I mean, it's not exactly cardception where the card in the front is the card pictured on the back, but blue jersey, chain link fence. Same photo shoot. Come on. Rob Ducey. Tony Perez-Chica. John Olerud. Deceptively tall John Olerud. And Oral Hershiser. Mr. Superstition himself, Oral Hershiser, with his shutout inning streak, would have eaten a cactus loaf from a grocery store called Corb Torson's in the American Southwest, and then allegedly had them shipped to Cleveland when he got traded or when he was playing for the Indians. Let's take a look at the backs of these cards for cardception. Mike Stanton, no. Lemke, no. Pappas, no. Hunter, no. Lots of these right around when it should be, but none of them actually qualifying for true cardception. Tony Perez-Chica's Topps rookie card considered 92 Topps gold even. They go so specific to call it his gold card instead of being 92 Stadium Club. Okay, If you say so, Tops. Down to our last two packs. Let's do 93 Donruss, Series 1. Do I have a particular favorite set to open? I love opening 94 Stadium Club. I'm a big fan of 93 Select. I like 92 Donruss. I like 91 Score. I like 90 Donruss. I like 89 Tops. I like 88 Fleer. I like 87. 87 is kind of a toss-up. I could do any brand. So 87 to 94, those are my favorites. Our 93 Donruss, Kent Herbeck. Not quite full bleed, but minimal borders around these cards. There's Kent Herbeck, Greg Hibbard, Phil Clark, Dwayne Ward, Jose Oquendo, Horizontal Jose, I think they called him back in the day, Luis Sojo, Jeff Branson again, Alex Fernandez, Ken Caminiti, about to chuck his bat into the dugout, Greg Olson, Frank Thomas, Wally Joyner, Roger Clemens, and Walt Weiss. All right, we got Rocket and the Big Hurt out of our 1993 Donruss pack. That's cool. Frank Thomas all day, every day out of our Donruss. Love that. Good pack. All right. We are down to it, gentlemen. And I say gentlemen because I've seen the metrics for this channel, so no offense. But we're down to it. 1994 Score Select Series 1, the last pack of the evening. Thank you for being with me for what has turned out to be more than an hour and a half. Happy to have you with me, and we'll do another one of these soon enough once I can iron out the technical kinks, assuming those kinks can be ironed out and they're not just like bandwidth issues. Let's find out. The Alhambra reminds me that pack was missing one major hit. We're down to our last chance for John Smiley. I don't know where he is. Maybe we'll do one more Stadium Club. We'll see what we get out of Score Select here. Gorgeous cards, by the way, out of these packs. I love their use of gold foil. Relatively restrained, all things considered. Rookie prospect there for Solomon Torres. Another one, Matt Walbeck. And there we go, Jeff Montgomery. I like the way they use the negative space to show the player name. That's cool. So you still get the gold foil, but negative space is where you see the name. Jeff Montgomery. Brett Saberhagen and his Oakleys. That's cool. Mo Vaughn, not Greg Vaughn, but Mo. Wade Boggs with the Yankees. That feels unnatural. Wade Boggs very much alive. Dave Fleming. Doc Gooden. Instead of even calling him Dwight, Doc. At bat, no less. Doc Gooden. That's cool. Jose Rio. Ron Karkovice. I know it's Karkovice. I know it's Karkovice. Yeah, you can see the gloss. You can smell the gloss too. Hard to reproduce that smell. Bernard Gilkey and Joe Carter. What an excited man Joe Carter looks like in that photo. I wonder what just happened there. I wonder if he just hit a game-winning home run of particular importance. Yeah, I grew up a Joe Carter fan. Sad to see him move on. How about that? Joe Carter. What a hitter. All right. We're down to it. Last one. We're going to do one more pack of 94 Stadium Club Series 1. Thank you for joining me. We'll dismiss this before too long, but just one more pack. I can't walk away from it not knowing. Beautiful cards, tamper-proof foil. And thank you for watching. If you were here for the whole thing, incredible. If you were here for most of it, that's awesome too. There's Eric Young. There's the back of the card from Mike Bordick. A horizontal layout. That's Mike Bordick, the defender, not the base runner. Still smells like Stadium Club. Mark Clark. Will we get a John Smiley out of here? There's Terry Mulholland. Home Run Club. Tom Foley. I wonder what Tom Foley did to get a card that gorgeous. That's cool. Paul O'Neill. Kevin Seitzer. Steve Buechele. Mike McFarland. Brad Pennington, Major League debut card for Brad. Jeff Bagwell. That's cool. A little bit of paper loss. Sorry for the sticking, Jeff. But you were stuck to Steve Avery. Another gorgeous card. All right. Avery and Bagwell finish us off. Cannot believe that we did not get a single John Smiley out of this entire assortment of packs. We did get 3 different Greg Jeffries. That's cool. I'll put those in a binder. Again, big shout out to Terry for his, you know what? One more. 91 Upper Deck. Find the Nolan. Maybe there's a Michael Jordan. If we get a Michael Jordan in here, it'll be immortalized forever. Tamper-proof, more foil or more paper than foil, though. Very easy to rip open. Let's see. John Smiley. Ron Oster. Are you Johnny Ray? Billy Ripken. Not the Billy Ripken we would have looked for. Eric Hansen. Ron Hassey. Rick Sutcliffe and his beard. Brooke Fordyce, top prospect. Roberto Kelly. Jeff Ballard, you gotta wear the protection, Jeff. You're not the catcher you think you are. There's Mark Portugal, the man, again. Wally Backman. Joe Girardi. Not bad. I mean, it's BP, but as BP photos go in baseball card photos, that's not bad. Fungo bat over his shoulder, that's kind of cool, in my opinion. Our giant hologram is the Braves logo. Should have put that horizontally, take up more space. Another top prospect, Dan Peltier. Scott Cooper. And Jack Howell. Well, there you have it. We got our Greg Jeffries. We got a nice run of 90 Leaf. Pull those out of the stack. PC guy Will Clark, George Brett, Ozzie Smith, Ricky Henderson, and Tony Gwynn, all out of the same pack. Incredible luck with our 1990 Leaf and many, many other stars that we hit over the course of the evening here. Thank you for joining me. We will continue our usual cadence of 2 packs today on the main channel. I don't know why I put Mike Stanton over here. Kind of a misplaced thing. But yeah, please do continue. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Thumbs up for the live stream. And we'll see you tomorrow with at least two. I'm going to give you a spoiler because you're here now. 4 packs tomorrow for the 4th of July. Thanks for being here. We will see you tomorrow and the day after that, 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 and the day after that,